Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, and it's that wonderful time of the year. Yes, the Grammys for 2021 have been announced. Yes, the Grammys. Yes, the Grammys, the world's stupidest award. You know, nobody really knows how these things get picked. They know sort of there's a process, but the process is not very clearly explained because some things are voted on directly, some things are picked by nominating committees, and we have no idea what motivates those people. Some things are then nominated and then voted on. Oh, it's a whole complicated, tortured mess. And in order to vote at all, you have to be a member of NARAS, the National, what is that, the Recording Arts and Sciences, something, I don't know, the Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. That's what it is. And in order to be on that, you have to have participated in a certain number of records or certain somethings, and then you pay your $100 and you get to vote. And you can vote on anything, whether you know anything about it or not. That's why the classical Grammys have traditionally been so bizarre, because all that the people had to do was sort of push everyone who didn't know anything about classical music to vote for their local orchestra recording or something, and voila, instant Grammy. That's how Schulte came to be the Grammy champion as he was billed. And it's really, really weird. That's all I can tell you. But I'm not going to even emphasize the classical Grammys. I want to talk about all of them. Every last one. All 59,387 categories. Just to show you how totally out of touch I must be. Because I don't know what the hell half of this stuff is. You know, the Grammys suffer from category creep. They have divided music, particularly popular music, into so many little subcategories that it's impossible to tell what they are and what falls into one versus the other. Although I assume the people who win them know what they are. Wait, let me just go through it. It speaks for itself. It truly does. First, see, I have the list here. There are two different categories. One for Record of the Year, which was won by Billie Eilish. Yay, at least I know who that is. And the Album of the Year, which was by Taylor Swift. I know who that is. But what is the difference between the Record of the Year and the Album of the Year? I have no idea. Isn't the album a record? Isn't a record an album? I mean, the record might be a single, but all the album stuff, every track is available singly, and everything's a download anyway nowadays. So what are they talking about? That makes no sense to me. Then we get Best R&B Performance. It's Beyonce. I know who that is. R&B, God, I love R&B. So it's a real, legitimate category, all of its own, of a distinctive style of music. Yes. Then there's the Best Pop Vocal Album. Then there's the Best Rap Song. Then there's Song of the Year, which is I Can't Breathe by Her. H-E-R is the winner. I have no idea what that was. Then there's Best Latin Pop or Urban Album. Urban, as opposed to rural. The Urban Album. Best Melodic Rap Performance. Now there's something to chuckle about, isn't it? There's the rap performance, and then there's the Best Melodic Rap Performance. In other words, that's the best rap performance that has actual music in it. Some of them actually have music. I didn't know you could make that distinction. I thought rap was rap. It's somebody screaming at you and rhyming poetry, often with a lot of really disgusting curse words and vocabulary mixed in. But melodic rap and rap are two different things. Then there's Best Pop Solo Performance, Best Country Album. Country is a legitimate style. We know what that is. Dolly Parton did it. Okay, I get it. Miranda Lambert was the winner. I have no idea who that is. Best New Artist. This, of course, does not include classical people because classical people are not artists, evidently. And we don't care who won, do we? Best Pop Duo Group Performance. I don't know why that's different from Best Pop Performance. but it is. Oh, but this looks so interesting. There's this thing called Un Dia, One Day, by J Balvin, Dua Lipa, Bad Bunny, and Tiny Intentions by Justin Bieber featuring Quavo. It didn't win, but you got to admire. It's definitely a group. It's a group of what? I'm not even going to guess. Then there's Best Rock Performance. Now, of course, I've always been a little bit confused about the difference between rock and pop, because when I was growing up in the 60s, they were kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? But that's all right. Then there's Best Rock Album, as distinct from Best Rock Performance. Best Alternative Music Album. Now, that I always loved. I mean, what is alternative music? I don't know what alternative music is. I mean, I do know what it is, kind of, because when I was running WJHU at Johns Hopkins at the radio station, we had an alternative music director. And they did things like, the Dead Kennedys and the Throbbing Gristle and Surgical Penis Clinic and Brian Eno. And, some of that stuff, I mean, I knew what alternative music was, kind of, sort of. Sometimes mixed with like that sort of punk rock kind of thing, and I guess maybe not anymore. I don't know. Then there's Best R&B Song, as opposed to Best R&B Album. Then there's Best Progressive R&B Album. That's different from the Regressive R&B Album. I don't know what makes R&B progressive as opposed to anything else. Conservative. I don't know. Then there's Best Rap Performance. I thought we finished rap. And Best Rap Album, and Best Country Solo Performance, and Best Country Song. And then Producer of the Year, Non-Classical. There we go. It's non-classical producer. You get an extra award if you're not classical. That makes me feel good. Best Music Film. Best Global Music Album. I guess that's kind of like world music, only it's really sort of not. I love this one. Best American Roots Performance. What is an American root? I mean, I think a sassafras is an American root. Sarsaparilla? That's an American root. That beats me. Oh, and look, Best Mattress for 2021. Oh, I'm sorry, that's an ad. No, that's not a Grammy Award, the Best Mattress. Wait a minute. Where's this? There's an ad here. Okay. And there's like a zillion more categories, but first there's this Best Mattress thing. Best Overall Mattress. Wait a minute. Best Firm Mattress. Holy cow, this is some ad. Best Mattress for Heavy People. I could do that one. Best Mattress. And do they have any more Grammy stuff? No, they don't. Now I have to go somewhere else to find the Grammy winners list because it was interrupted by the Best Mattress ad, which is actually a heck of a lot more interesting than the than the Grammy winners list. So let's see what we have here. Wait a minute. Participating talent, full-time, Grammy Awards. Nope, that's not there either. I can't believe this. Here I am Googling this. You would think that people could simply publish a list. I mean, what is the problem with simply publishing a list? Let's try this one. This one is from Rolling Stone magazine. Here we are. There, we're getting there now. Let's see, where were we? Best Country Duo Group. No, we had Producer of the Year, Non-Classical. There we were. All right. Best Country Song. Best Country Duo Group Performance. Okay, so if you do things in more than one people, you get your own award. Then there was Rock, Best Rock Album, Best Rock Song, Best Metal Performance. Okay, we know what that is, kind of. Best Rock Performance, Best Rap Album, we did that already. Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album. What is a traditional pop vocal album? I don't know. Then there's Best Pop Duo Group Performance. Oh, it's Lady Gaga with Ariana Grande. I know who both of those people are. Then we had, let's see, the R&B, progressive R&B. This is all organized differently. Best Latin Jazz. I like Latin jazz. I like anything Latin. The Latin stuff is great. It's got energy, and it's got life, and it's got soul, and it has tunes, and it's got cool percussion. I love that stuff. Then there's Best Large Jazz Ensemble Album, Best Jazz Instrumental Album, Best Jazz Vocal Album, Best Improvised Jazz Album. Now, the only thing that's doing worse than classical music these days is jazz. Jazz is really on its way out in so many respects. It's such a shame. There's so much great talent there, and some of the music is fabulous, but I think it's really a little bit too highbrow. It's even more highbrow than classical music, actually, in a lot of ways. I mean, jazz people are even snootier and more insufferable, and, at least in my experience, quite often. So then we get, here we go. Best Musical Theater Album. That's always nice. That's Jagged Little Pill, the original Broadway cast. Then we have the Best Comedy Album winner. Okay, we know what that is. And we have Best Spoken Word Album, which includes poetry, audiobooks, and storytelling. And it was won by Rachel Maddow. Well, we all know who that is. For Blowout, Corrupted Democracy, Rogue State Russia, and the Richest, Most Destructive Industry on Earth. That's her reading her book about the oil industry. The other thing about the Grammys is that a lot of these things are actually years old because NARAS sets the consideration period. And that consideration period can go way, 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 way back. So we're the 2021 Grammys. Some of this stuff could have been out as 2018, 2019, not 2020. Who knows? Best Children's Music Album. Isn't that adorable? Okay, Best Reggae Album. We did Regional Roots Music Album. Is that different from American Roots? Then there's Regional Roots. The New Orleans Nightcrawlers. Doesn't that sound appetizing? Well, they won. Best Folk Album, Best Contemporary Blues Album, Best Traditional Blues Album, Best Bluegrass Album. Now, there's a difference between blues and bluegrass and contemporary blues. Best Americana Album. Then we did American Roots. Yeah, we don't know what that was. Then there's Best American Roots Performance. Best Song Written for Visual Media. I mean, isn't that scraping the bottom of the barrel? Good Lord. Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media. Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media. I mean, how many categories can you actually break this up into? It's astonishing, astonishing. Now, let's talk about, look, holy cow, Best Contemporary Classical Composition. Christopher Rouse's Symphony No. 5 on Naxos. Good for them. I reviewed it. Whoa, boy. Normally, I have no clue, what these albums are because the people who nominate them are the people who usually make them or work for their own labels. And, it's a whole thing. Then we get Best Classical Compendium. The Michael Tilson Thomas MTT Diary of Anne Frank and Meditations on Real Key Song Cycles album, which was a result of block voting on the part of everyone in San Francisco, because I don't know anybody who cared about that thing at all for any reason. Best Classical Solo Vocal Album. Oh, that's Ethel Smythe, The Prison on Chandos. Oh yeah, that was kind of cool. We liked that a lot. In Classics Today. Best Classical Instrumental Solo from Richard O'Neill, Theophanitis, Concerto for Viola and Chamber Orchestra. That's on Albany. So you know that there's a group of NARAS members up in Albany, but it's also a good piece. Definitely a good piece. Best Chamber Music Small Ensemble, the Pacifica Quartet, Contemporary Voices on CD, review forthcoming. Definitely worth considering. Best Choral Performance, Joanne Falletta, doing Daniel Poor's The Passion of Yeshua, which I plan on not listening to. I hate to say, I do not like Richard Daniel Poor. I never have. I find his music rather hollow and insincere. But that's me, Best Opera Recording. Oh, Gershwin, Porgy, and Bess. No idea what one that was. I don't remember ever seeing it. Best Orchestral Performance, Dudamel Ives Complete Symphonies on DG. Oh, yes. NARAS is in California. LA hasn't done anything in ages. That is a thoroughly mediocre Ives cycle. Period. Best Tropical Latin Album. Oh, okay. Then there's what Latin album isn't tropical? And most of it's tropical, isn't it? Okay. Best Regional Mexican Album, including Tejano. Best Latin Rock or Alternative Album, Producer of the Year, Classical, David Frost. We all know who he is. He's been around forever. Best Engineered Album, Classical, was Ricardo Muti and the Chicago Symphony doing Shostakovich's Babi Yar. Now, that came out a long time ago. That really did. It's a terrific performance, by the way, but it's not recent. Best Remixed Recording. Oh, who cares? Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical. Best Historical Album, Mr. Rogers. It's such a good feeling. Well, it's historical. Best Album Notes. They don't have classical and non-classical. Best Boxed or Special Limited Edition Package. Then there's Best Recording Package, which is different from a boxed or special limited edition package. Then there's Best Record Sleeve Liner. No, I'm just kidding. They probably should do that. Best Roots Gospel Album. Best Gospel Album. I don't understand. What is it difference between a roots thing and a gospel thing? Maybe it has to do with historical, because it's the Fisk Jubilee Singers. I mean, it's their 100th anniversary album, so it may not be that old, but they are a classic gospel ensemble. I mean, that much I know. Then there's the Best Gospel Album, Best Contemporary Christian Music Album, Best Contemporary Christian Music Performance, Best Gospel Performance, Best New Age Album, Best Music Film, Best Music Video, Best Arrangement, Instrumental and Vocals. I'm speeding up here because this is never going to end. Best Arrangement, Instrumental or A Cappella, Best Instrumental Composition, Best Contemporary Instrumental Album, Best Dance Electronic Album, Best YouTube Video about the Grammys. Winner, me! No, Best Dance Recording, and that's it. That's the last one. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, could you imagine anything more sort of like, it's worthless. It's just this every single slight teeny weeny category. Best song written on July 17th, 1977, and then August 23rd, 1978. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand what these people are doing, why they have so many of them. They're all, of course, it's just the industry giving an award to itself, just like the Oscars do. It drums up attention. I'm sure it sells copies of the recordings. I'm sure it sells the recordings. I mean, that's what it's there for. But is it a measure of quality? Is it a measure of music? Artistry of any way, in any way, shape, or form, of any kind? The answer is hell no. No way. It's a joke. It's always been a joke. It will always be a joke. I will never do a video like this again. I'm sure you're very, very happy about that, at least until next year when the Grammys come out. We'll see what kind of a horror show that turns out to be. But I don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, there's an opportunity here to really turn people on to recorded music. But as usual with these circumstances, you've got an organization in NARAS that is full of its own self-importance and that believes that just the fact that it exists is a boon to humanity, and it does not want to lower itself to explaining why anybody should be bothering with anybody that they're not already interested with, anything, that they're not already interested in. I'm actually curious about some of this stuff. I would like to hear all the root things. I want to know what a root thing is. It's like root vegetables. I want to hear the rutabaga of American music. I think that's quite fascinating. But how they come up with these categories, how they determine who the winners are, why we should care, all of that is assumed. And of course, the least important thing in the world is what I have to say about it. I mean, God knows my opinion isn't worth a plug nickel. So I'm sharing it with you anyway, just because every year I look at this list and I am aghast at how it gets longer and longer and longer, with more and more categories of stuff that I couldn't explain to you what it is for my life. So anyway, those were the Grammys. Let's ignore the Grammys and keep on listening. Thank you, everyone. Take care.